Recording in progress.
Good morning, colleagues.
Good morning, Chairperson.
Good morning, sir.
Even those that are not from South Africa are in the meeting. We have got international representatives here today.
Myself.
I beg your pardon?
International.
Oh, I said you from South Africa. Okay. I'm on my way to my PC is far away from me.
The switch on your video, the network is not good.
I've turned it off. I was just showing you. I'm on my way to Pretoria. Exactly with my reception. The agenda is before us, and I think we have got enough numbers I've seen in the platform. I'm not sure whether it is numbers of officials, are members in the meeting. Nasipo?
Yes, Chair.
Okay. Let me check myself.
Yes, Chairperson.
Okay.
Members are in the meeting.
Okay, that being the case, we can then start the meeting. Let me welcome everybody into the meeting with the hope that we are ready for the meeting. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, who are the members that are in the meeting? We can't just say members in the meeting, yes, we are here. And then we don't even see who's here. Who's here? Can we do roll
Check
call?
no, just check on the attendance portal. There are people who.
But let's do it formal. I can check myself. Let's do it formal, and then we check who's here, who's not here. There's apologies.
No, we have never done that.
The apologies to tell us who's present, who's not present, and then
it has never been like that in a meeting, Masala. We have never done it.
But your minutes is showing that so and so is present, so and so is absent, so and so apologizes. It's wrong. We must do it like that.
We have never done that. We will not start that. No, can I open the meeting? As I have said, let us welcome everybody into the meeting and hope that we are all ready for the meeting. They have quest for the World Cup, and I think they have represented us well. Also appreciate that the cricket team is also fighting for that honors. I think they will succeed. Bafana is playing tonight. We hope they also emulate that which the other national teams are doing. Banyana were beaten by Malawi, but they've done well also. So our sport teams are busy in the international arena. We wish them well, and I think we must also pay our condolences to the activities that is taking place in Palestine. People are dying there, and the unfortunate part, the international politics is not consistent with the issues. In the Ukraine, Russia matters. Everybody is at score, but also there, those that are calling for Putin to be declared a war criminal, they are not saying the same on Netanyahu in Israel. if politicians are not going to be consistent in trying to quell the differences of the world, we will never get it right, because we must never call wrong when wrong is done by our opponent, and when it's done by our own, we call it right. The world and the country must desist from that approach. It does not take us anywhere. It is inconsistent. It creates a problem. With that in mind, the meeting is duly opened, and you are all welcome. The second point is a moment of silence for mediation and or prayer. Thank you very much. We are all welcome. The agenda, Nosipo?
The apologies, Chairperson.
You are not
Chairperson,
audible. You are not audible. Yes, Nosipo?
can you hear me now?
Yes, we do.
Yes, Chairperson. Okay. There's an apology from the Office of the Deputy Minister, Mr. Mahlobo. Today he's conducting mayoral interviews for Sekhukhune District Municipality, so he won't be part of this meeting. The DG also submitted an apology. The acting DG for this meeting is Ms. Lusenga. Minister requested to leave early because at 10 o'clock on a meeting with the President on matters relating to the work of the department. That is all I received, Chairperson.
Okay. There are apologies, unless there is any member who hold also another apology that is not recorded.
Chairperson, morning.
Yes.
I did not hear an apology for Honorable Grace Seki from Nosipo.
No, Honorable Tseke is in the meeting.
I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm here, Chair.
Ms.
Okay.
Tseki is also here.
Okay.
Yeah, she
My
is here.
apology. I couldn't see her. Thank you very much.
Okay. So now, let's get to the agenda items, Nosipo. Nosipo. Yo.
Chairperson? Chairperson?
We are on item number 4.
Chairperson?
Yes, the Honorable Mhlala.
Yes, can we also please, I propose that we put the China trip as the additional agenda item. As an additional agenda item. Can you please
Let's
do
put
that?
let's put it as item 5. No, as item 6. As item 6.
Noted, Chairperson.
As item 6. Briefing by entities supporting the work of the Department of Water and Sanitation. The first one will be
Water Research Commission.
the WRC.
Yes.
And I assume we will allow all of them to present and talk to them in bulk.
Yes, Chairperson.
Okay. Water Research Council.
Yes, thank you very much.
Good morning, Chairperson, and good morning to honorable members. I am not Dr. Jennifer Molandwa. I am Dr. Tabile Melamu, the Chairperson of the Water Research Commission. I'm using the CEO's machine. She is with...
On while the meeting is being opened and your DM is not in the waiting room. I've been accepting people all the time, but your DM is not reflecting, is not there. You must log out and re-log in.
Chair, may I proceed?
You can, it is your turn.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. And on the call with me, I have the CEO of the Water Research Commission, Dr. Jennifer Molandwa, with the CFO, Mr. Faisal Ismail. They will assist me to take the committee through the annual report and financial and non-financial statements for the financial year 2022-2023. We really appreciate the opportunity and welcome the inputs from members. And with your permission, Chair, I'd like to then hand over to first the CEO to take the committee through the annual report. Thereafter, the CFO will give us the financial performance of the Water Research Commission. May I hand over to her, Chair?
Good morning, members and chairperson of the Water Research Commission Board, colleagues from the department and other entities. Chair, we are here to present the WRC Annual Report 2022-2023 financial year. The presentation will consist of the overview of our mandate, our strategic overview, the organizational structure, performance, environment, and outcomes, non-financial performance reporting, as well as financial performance that will be presented by the CFO. Chair, our mandate at the WRC is to promote the coordination, cooperation, and communication in the areas of water research and development. And then we establish these research needs and priorities, stimulate and fund the research according to priorities, promote the effective transfer of information and technology, as well as to enhance knowledge and capacity building within the water sector. Our vision and mission has been presented, Chair. Ideally, we'd like to have a highly informed water decision-making through science and technology at all levels, in all stakeholder groups, and innovative water and sanitation solutions through research and development for South Africa, Africa, and the world. And we wish to do that through informing the policy and decision-making, creating new product, innovation, and services for socio-economic development, develop human capital in the water and sanitation science sector, empower community and reduce poverty, support the National Transformation and Redress Project, as well as to develop sustainable solutions and deepen water and sanitation research and development. And amongst our values is that we want to create a culture of learning and sharing, innovation and creativity, integrity and fairness, and a spirit of professionalism and service orientation, as well as facilitating empowerment and social change, and also good governance. Chair, the structure of the WRC has been presented, led by the Minister of Water and Sanitation, who has appointed the board, which has oversight over the organization as the accounting authority, and myself as the CE, as well as the 4 group executives for the different branches, namely research, development and innovation, and knowledge and impact, finance, as well as corporate services. Chair, we have indicated that what is our mission, and that has been presented through what we call the knowledge tree of the Water Research Commission. In essence, Chair, our outcomes are to create a water secure country and have a knowledge and innovation driven and responsive water sector. Also, a transformed society that uses and supports sustainable development solutions for evidence-based decision-making in planning, policy development and implementation, for economic growth and partnerships, community development. We would like to have a high-performing organization that is also financially stable. In terms of our RDI, we have we generate new knowledge and innovation and enhance human capital and skills development for sustainable water management. And we undertake this through three key business units, which is water resources and ecosystems, water use, wastewater and sanitation futures, water utilization in agriculture. In the last financial year, we concluded 121 research projects, of which 432 students were supported. Looking at our targets for the year under review, Chair, we were able to conclude the 121 projects, and we bringing the total number of projects we managed under the year to 378, of which we initiated 121 new products, and out of the 378, we completed 50 of the projects. Chair, you can see that there is a variance in terms of more work being done, and that was possible through the targets were exceeded as a result of projects that were funded and co-funded by the WRC research partners, including the Department of Science and Innovation, our very own Department of Water and Sanitation, as well as other private partners. Chair, we also have focused on the transformation agenda in terms of our research, development and innovation, and we can report that we have a total number of 172 projects that are led by female project owner, and these are the new projects. These are the overall projects, and then 127 are led by males, African males, and then of the new projects, 86 were led by Black female project leaders. Chair, we have focused also on building capacity within the sector and ensuring that we create a sustainable human capital for research and development. And in this regard, we have recorded 24 young project leaders leading new projects, as well as emerging project leaders of 32. And we also have produced innovation and products and services from the Water Research Commission to the total of 47. In terms of innovation and impact, Chair, we are focused on enhanced science-based decision-making solutions for the water sector, development and demonstration of sustainable innovations and smart technologies for the development of new water and sanitation products, and advanced and inspired water conversations. In the year under review, Chair, we had not particularly delivered on the ministerial briefs, parliamentary briefs, and the working papers. However, Chair, looking at the next slide, you can see that in terms of influencing policy and decision-making in the last financial year, we were able to report on 6 policy briefs that were produced, as well as 4 of the technical science briefs. But we have also, Chair, focused on also promoting the WRC, and in that regard, we had opinion pieces, press releases, as well as 15 research articles that were published in the year under review. In terms of the number of completed evaluations and IP due diligence reports, we're able to do 11, and this is out of our demonstration projects. And we are also able to demonstrate 10 of the pilots initiated through the WADA, SASTEP, as well as the RDI portfolio. We're also able to have 6 planned engagements within the provinces and municipalities, as well as key stakeholders, in order to do a needs analysis and understand the water, sanitation, science, and innovation needs. And we signed 10 agreements with partnering institutions. With the number of workshops that we have held, where we are empowering and bringing on new SMMEs, young professionals, young researchers, we have done 3 in the year under review. And we have developed the knowledge portal strategy of the WRC. We were able to have about 30 workshops in partnerships with other institutions. We had 6 dialogues with partners and science institutions, and held 1 conference where we were the host organization. In terms of corporate services, Chair, we were able to implement enhanced ICT tools to enable dynamic and agile modality of work. We have achieved compliance with legal and regulatory frameworks, supported the advancement of people empowerment, we're building an ethical culture, and have embraced diversity within the organization. In terms of the set targets and achievements, we have maintained, in fact, increased from our target the total number of Black employees to 89%. Of that, 58% is females, and Chair would like to record that of that 58%, 25% are actually women in SMS, senior management. And the total number of employees with disability at the WRC accounts for 6%, while the number of employees with master's degrees are 22, and 16 have PhD. I will now hand over to the CFO to take us through the financial reporting.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, members. I'm Faisal Ismail. I'm the CFO. I'm not sure if it's showing now. Financial. Chair, just bear with me for a second. All right, good. Chair, my job today is an absolute pleasure, I have to say, and a privilege indeed. And that privilege is that we, as the WRC, as a collective, we can report that we have indeed achieved a clean audit. And a clean audit is a significant milestone, certainly in my view and the view of the WRC. It's testament to the fact that the controls that we've implemented, the conservative approach that we have around financial matters, the sort of organization that we're trying to build in terms of the performances, because the audit is a diverse one that is undertaken. It says that our financials can be relied upon. It certainly gives a lot of credibility to the organization in terms of both its financial management as well as its performance management and what it has achieved, as has been reported by the CEO. And of course, the CEO is a little bit conservative in the sense that there's a lot more that has been reported, that has been achieved. Unfortunately, of course, today is not the time. We don't have all the time to delve into the sort of work that is being done. So I'd like to extend, certainly take my hat off for the operations guys and the operations team for the work that they've done with the resources that we have. We will, of course, continue to focus on making sure that we maintain this clean audit and to have good audited results. I mean, I think it says a lot to those that are dealing with us. We deal with, as you know, with international stakeholders and a diverse stakeholder set who wants to know that when they invest money with you and place money with you, it's a reliable organization. There's the integrity, there's the reliance that they can place on the organization. So that is, for me, an absolute pleasure. Some of the specifics around the achievement. Firstly, I think it is important to say that going forward, and as we stand right now, we are a going concern, and it's demonstrated by the fact that one, we're able to meet our financial obligations as they fall due, a ratio, and this current ratio is essentially what we call current assets over current liabilities. So how many times can you cover your liabilities with the assets that you have? And those are short-term assets in the form of cash that will be realized into cash. So it is indeed a good position. We don't take it for granted, and we continuously work to maintain a healthy financial position. I think we've talked about this, and this is really just internal. We have an internal audit, and it's of course pleasing to say that even our internal audit has given us a green light. They of course are a little bit more. They interrogate things a lot more. They have a lot more time. So it is indeed pleasing to say that we've achieved good results in that respect as well. The specific numbers, this is what we call the financial position, statement of financial position, conventionally known as the balance sheet. So where we stand in terms of our assets vis-a-vis our liabilities. Overall, what I can say, again, an indication of financially sound organization. Our total net asset value is 286 million. So it is indeed a healthy position to be in. Again, we don't take it for granted. Some of the key highlights, perhaps, is that our receivables, which is an important one, has it has reduced, and it's indication that debtors are paying. It is difficult times out there, and of course we have to work very closely with our stakeholders. As you would know, within the environment that we're working, it's the economy is difficult. So we have been fortunate in that the way we've worked with our stakeholders, they have been paying. And of course, people don't pay unless they see value. So clearly, we have demonstrated that we're able to produce value, and that people, what they value, they pay for. Again, cash and cash equivalents has increased to the tune of 100 million. Our current liabilities has reduced, those that we owe money, and we continue to settle on a timeless basis our liabilities as they fall due, in line with what is required in terms of the Public Finance Management Act. From the expenditure perspective, what I'd like to report is a basket of expenditure from our total revenue, though the significant part, 48%, is attributable or goes to research and innovation, so our core business. 26% goes into human resource cost. That is also a key imperative, I have to stress, because it is that 26%, the people, that make sure that the research is in fact conducted. The research, if there is value that is achieved from the research that's undertaken, that it doesn't just turn into laboratory work, that it actually goes out there. And I mean, it's the people that we employ within the WRC that makes the research work. So in essence, it's a concomitant part of research. So I think one needs to look at it somewhat differently than the traditional organizations where you have HR and human resources costs simply being an overhead cost that support. I mean, I think it's an integral part of the business. There's of course a component within the human resource cost that is a support, that plays more of a support function. For example, the finances, the HR, the IT. But again, without that, you can't run an organization efficiently, and you can't run an organization that people place value on. So I think it's got to be looked at in that regard. We continuously make sure that we don't overburden the revenue base with that. So those are the two key items. As far as financial performance is concerned, the conventional income statement, if you like, we've done a 4-year analysis from 2020, just to give a comparative analysis and just to give some perspective of where we've come from. Key highlights, of course, 75% of our revenue, more than that, in fact, is attributable to water research savvy. That's our core funding stream. We have what we call leverage income, where organizations, either together with ourselves or provide funding to ourselves to continue with the research enterprise that we have and conduct research. It varies. It is quite a variable amount. It obviously depends on what funding is available, but we're pleased to say that it's become, over the last number of years, quite a significant component of our research, and it allows us and it provides us the ability to stretch the rand, as it were, and be able to pursue research activities, demonstrations, etc., that we would not otherwise have been able to achieve. And it yields, of course, value. Otherwise, it wouldn't continue. Our general expenses has increased, but some of that is most of that is actually explainable. What we're trying to do here is also to set up an organization that can move into. We've just recently had a 50 year, and to go into the next 50 years. The CEO mentioned the IT infrastructure, mentioned the organization, making sure that the organization is structured in a way that it'll meet the requirements of the future in terms of how the work that we do is disseminated. It's an imperative, very important. That is something, and I'm sure some of the questions always in any research enterprise is, what you do the research, what is the value that is attributable to that, who actually uses it, what do we get back from that? And that is an area that we're focusing on. So it's to structure the organization correctly, and that's where some of the professional fees goes towards, to set up the things out. Some of the activities are risk management. Whilst we are a 50-year-old organization, we've always been a much smaller organization, and it has grown over the last number of years. And as organizations grow, what you need governance, you need a whole host of other things, which otherwise, which takes a bit of time to build. And for that, some of these outside assistance we do value. But generally, our cost is in line with inflation. I thank you.
Thank you very much, CEO and CFO, for that comprehensive presentation. Chair, as you may remember, we are a relatively new board. We joined in May, but I'd like to commend the team for the effort and the hard work that they put in the previous financial year, 2022 and 2023, under the leadership of the previous board. We are committed to maintaining a clean audit as the new board, and making sure that the team continues with their hard work and the effort that they've put in, but importantly, to ensure that our work is impactful. And I do know that that's the vision of the CEO, to ensure that we're not doing research or administering research for the sake of research's sake, and trying to ensure that it really makes an impact in the community. So I think that's a commitment that we make as a new board that is 6 months into the job. And we'd like to hand over to you and honorable members, Chair, and to take any inputs or questions that members may have for me, the CEO, and the CFO. Thank you, Chair, and over to you.
Thank you very much. Members, we did agree that we'll note our questions and input and take the second input of entity, and we'll engage later. Can you get the second one?
Good morning, Chair, and greetings to yourselves and the honorable members of the committee. My name is Linda Carol Zulu. I am the chairperson of the Inkomati-Usuthu Catchment Management Agency. Special greetings to the Honorable Minister Mkhuni and also DM Shabalala, and also officials from the department. Chair, I think, Chair, it is with great opportunity for us to present the IUCMA's performance for the 2022-2023 financial year as depicted by the annual performance report, and also our financial performance, and also including the audit outcomes. Through you, Chair, I would like to allow the executives to take us through the report. With me, I've got the Deputy Chairperson of the Board, Advocate Khoza, our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Muhalaba. I also have the Executive for Water Resources Management, Dr. Mhlanga, the Executive Corporate Services, Advocate Shabangu, and the CFO, Ms. Bamunda. I think we also have the support of the Acting Strategic Support Manager, who's actually responsible for the management of our performance within the organization. So I think with that said, Chair, and through you, may I please allow the CEO to take us through our presentation. Thank you.
Just before he or she takes over, I did not necessarily recognize the presence of the minister. I heard it said in passing. And I know that there was also a saying that he might leave in the middle of the meeting. So, Minister, at the time when you want to make an input before you leave, just indicate you are welcome into the meeting. I know that you, under normal circumstances, you were supposed to start the input and give us the right to listen to your entities. My apologies for that mishap.
Thank you very much, Chair.
So I think you can continue. The minister will indicate as and when you want to come in, I will allow you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, for the opportunity. I'm Lucky Charles Mohalava, Chief Executive of the IUCMA. We're presenting our annual performance report for the IUCMA.
You are not audible, sir.
Well, thank you, Chair. There's a bit of a glitch. I'm struggling to move the presentation from my side. Apologies, Chairperson. I'm struggling to move the presentation this side. Well, thank you very much, Chair. Apologies for the glitch. We have technical issues here. Chair, the mandate of the IUCMA is derived from Section 78 of the National Water Act. We're mandated to ensure that we are able to protect, conserve, and the management of the water resources within a localized management area. Certainly, this involves looking after the main catchment, being the rivers within the water management area. Chair, considering the fact that we are looking after the water resources at local level, it's quite important for us to certainly look at the involvement of our local stakeholders, being the water users, from a decentralized water resource management point of view. Certainly, the IUCMA is definitely looking at providing the much deserved services and water resources management to Eskom, Sasol in Secunda Complex, and those industries which are quite important for the economic development of this country. The additional responsibilities of the IUCMA also involves HN members, the management of the resources that cross our borders to the two countries, being the Republic of Mozambique, as well as the Eswatini, including Chair, providing support of the water resources to domestic tourism and the forestry industry. We are funded by a parliamentary grant where the Department of Water and Sanitation. Yes, we are a Schedule 3A public entity. Chair, these are some of the key sections that are applicable to the IUCMA in line with the National Water Act. Of greater importance is to really ensure that we do prevent and remedy the pollution of the water resources. We also look at and are responsible for compulsory license applications administratively. The IUCMA is looking at processing all the license applications from the users and transmitting those to the department for further consideration through a committee comprised of experts who then decide if the license is issued or not. Part of our responsibilities of the inherent functions also includes the development of a catchment management strategy, which really is a guiding document for all our activities for a period of 5 years, which deals with some of the key components around how we best manage this important resource. We reflect the water management area. In this regard, Chair, we are operating in 4 catchments, being the Crocodiles, Sabisand, Usuthu, as well as Inkomati. We are located within the province of Mpumalanga, and we are responsible for 3 districts and 8 local municipalities. As I indicated earlier, the issues around transboundary water resources management becomes an important, one of the important responsibilities of the IUCMA. In this regard, Chair, issues of the quality, issues of the quantity of the water as agreed between the 3 member states, the IUCMA must ensure that we actually monitor the resources that are transported to these 2 countries. The vision and the mission of the IUCMA is certainly one of the key issues that we look into, as Ella indicated, is to ensure that there's sufficient and equitable of quality water resources for all within the water management area. In our planning horizon, we have identified 4 key outcomes, and those outcomes relates to the issues that relates to ensuring that the organization has a high level of increased stakeholder satisfaction. Operating in a local environment, it therefore becomes important that the different stakeholders that we serve or service within the water management area, their expectations are met, obviously, within the resources that we have as an organization. Certainly, we also want to ensure that we have enhanced human resource capabilities, and these certainly talk to the staff members that we have in the organization. The third one, which is quite important, relates to the maintenance of financial sustainability. And I think the CFO, when she makes the presentation, she will deal with the issues that relates to what is the financial state of the organization, or what was the financial state of the organization for the year under review. The core mandate, as explained in outcome number 4, we seek to protect and the usage of the water resources. And the slide also reflects, Chair, the key areas that we seek to implement in relation to some of the targets that we have set for ourselves. Certainly, the issues around the percentage of compliance to resource quality objectives becomes very, very important, because you can't manage water that is polluted. And certainly, we follow the national guidelines in respect of this area. We also want to ensure that we continue to look at the compliance to our international obligations, given the agreements that were signed by the 3 member states. We're also quite looking at areas around the authorizations, being the licenses, authorizations that the users actually apply for. And certainly with the quality issues that are facing us within our water management area, certainly we wish to ensure that we deal certainly with the issues of non-compliance in the form of investigations. This is our structure. It's led by the governing board, Ms. Carol Zulu, and high-level structure, we have about 3 executives, water resource management executive, corporate services, as well as our CFO. In terms of the annual performance for the year under review, Chair, we think it's quite important to also reflect on the number of sites that are actually monitored in the areas of quality and quantity. We monitor about 269 sites, including 31 river flow sites. We have about 25 rainfall sites. Because we also think it's important, Chair, that we look at what is the extent of the availability of groundwater. And the studies that we have undertaken as the IUCMA, Sanity confirms in some areas the availability of groundwater, and in some areas the stressed areas, which we're going to reflect further on in the slides. Certainly, Chair, we also monitor about 10 dams in relation to areas of eutrophication, and where we advise the users about the kind of issues that are picked up from this monitoring of the dams with our stakeholders. In as far as the surface water is concerned, the status, Chair, it's quite important to indicate that the status was of the rivers and the dams were actually was high compared to the previous hydrological year, which was 2021, where we saw that the dams were below 80%. However, in 2022, there was an increment to about 100%, and some of them were even spilling. That being said, Chairperson, I think the challenge still remains that working together with our local municipalities, the issues of reticulation becomes important, because at the end of the day, while you may have rivers that are overflowing, access to water therefore becomes important to the citizens of this country. In this regard, there were no restrictions that were imposed by the IUCMA to the users. Well, however, given the fact that in the year under review, there's been a high level of the availability of the surface water, certainly we still encourage the usage of groundwater sources. We concluded studies, Chair, in the last financial year, which is the year under review, around what is the availability of the groundwater. The last studies that the IUCMA conducted were conducted in 2006. And that is the color that is reflected in red. Evidently, our studies are indicating that in 2022, certainly the availability of groundwater has certainly reduced to an extent that we have been advising our users of this fact that there has been a decline in groundwater sources in the last 16 years, coming from 2006. In relation to the areas around the pollution-related matters, this is a matter which we have committed to deal with, as part of our APP targets. Holistically, these are the issues that, as an organization, we're concerned about in relation to matters of pollution in each of the catchment areas. Certainly, within the Inkomati-Usuthu, we are seeing indications of E. coli. In the areas of the Upper Komati, we are seeing areas of the existence of sulfates. In the areas of crocodile, we are seeing concerns around salts. And this to us is a matter that is worrying. We've raised these matters continuously with the municipalities. We've raised these matters continuously with other users. Part of the focus area, Chair members, going forward is now to look at to what extent are we really engaging with these stakeholders. We've noted that the mines also are contributing a lot with some toxins that are really polluting the resource. We have approved by the board of directors a strategy that seeks to deal with these specific matters, including liaising, increase our efforts with the NPA, the HCPS, in view of needing to increase our efforts in relation to our enforcement mechanisms as an organization. In the areas of transformation, we are quite happy, Chairperson and members, in the year under review that we have implemented a number of projects which have created job opportunities within the water management area. We will continue to do that. Currently, in the current financial year, there's also other projects which have been impactful that we have implemented, including projects that relate to the rainwater harvesting in collaboration with Bushbuck Ridge local municipality. But certainly, within the ambit of our resources, these are areas that we wish to implement going forward to ensure that we preserve and conserve the resource, but at the same time, ensuring that communities actually benefit from the programs that we're implementing. There's also areas, Chair, that relates to the drilling of boreholes, as we encourage as an organization the drilling of the boreholes where we have established that there is sufficient resources in specific areas, and those are matters that we are focusing on. We are very relentless on areas of transformation, and this also includes the areas around BBBE, where we had set a target of about 40%. That target has been exceeded in the year under review, as we've achieved a 51% performance level, Chairperson. In the current financial year, the organization shall be developing and implementing our BBBE and supply chain management strategy to really have a scientific document in how we want to approach issues around the empowerment of BBBE entities. In this regard, one of the areas that we really want to focus on is to what extent are we able to increase our capacity and allocation to BBBE companies, particularly in the areas of the technical work that the organization is engaging in. The staff complement is also an important area that we wanted to reflect to the portfolio committee. As it stands, as at the end of the financial year under review, we had about 115 posts that were filled with home bodies out of a staff complement of 144. The remaining posts, Chairperson, have been put on hold, mainly on account of the financial situation of the organization. We have agreed that we need to do more with what we have as an organization, given the fact that our financial resources would not allow us to employ more staff members, but certainly the organization remains effective. In the areas of gender equity, we're looking at about 49% and 51% respectively. And certainly this is an area that we wish to ensure that going forward, we have 50-50 representation in terms of gender equity within the organization. At executive level, we have 4 executives, including the chief executive. 2 of those are females and 2 of those are males. So quite comfortable in how we've managed this matter around employment equity. We are also have issued a number of bursaries, 20 of those to internal staff members to pursue their further studies, also indicating, Chair, the financial implications of those. We've also funded external students, largely in the sciences area, because we believe that the country requires more skills, particularly in the environmental sciences area, to contribute to this country and to the people of Mpumalanga in relation to the skill set that these bursars will obviously obtain from the various institutions. In relation to the performance levels, we are proud, Chair, to reflect and share with the committee that the IUCMA has achieved 100% performance for the year under review. 53% of the targets have been met, and 46% of the targets have been met and actually exceeded in the areas where we are reporting on. The specifics of the level of performance, Chairperson, relates to areas around the increment of our stakeholder satisfaction. This target has been met and actually exceeded. We have, by the board in the last financial year, have increased our efforts to ensure that we increase our presence, we increase our level of coordination with our users, particularly with various government departments. In this regard, we are proud to say that our level of collaboration with the Provincial Department of COPTA in Mpumalanga has been cemented with the kind of collaborations that we've been able to have in the year under review. Certainly, the issues around employee safety, the issues around the retention of employee turnover, these targets have been met and exceeded for the period under review. In the finance side, we're also proud to report to the portfolio committee that on areas of working ratio, particularly the issues around cost control, that target has been met. The target was set at 80%. The target has been met as the performance levels were at about 76%. This, Chair, is an indication of how does the organization is able to manage its cost without exposing the organization to unnecessary expenditure. Again, we do reflect that on issues of the current ratio, which reflects the ability of this organization to meet its short-term obligations. That area, we have seen good performance as well, as that we've exceeded our target of 1.1, as we've seen performance levels of about 2.41. We're also equally alive, Chairperson and members, on the areas where we've seen throughout the country, public entities are owed quite a lot of money by various sectors. In this regard, we have also segregated our debt management book in the toxic book, as well as the healthy book. We want to look at to what extent the toxic, which is old debt, where we have challenges around data. The target set in this area was about 4%. We're proud to indicate that in this area, the performance level has been at 13%. Indeed, when we look at the healthy book, the target set was at 60%. The achievement for the year under review has been 148%. This, Chair, did not come easy for this management and the board. We have really focused on segregating the users who are owing us, whether it's municipalities, whether it's irrigation boards, whether it's companies and provincial government departments, where we zoom in on them, we meet with them always, we push them, we sign AODs. Some of those have also been taken to court. These efforts have indeed led to high levels of collections by the IUCMA. The cost side, we are interested in understanding to what extent are we able to monitor the compliance with the resource quality objectives as set by the minister. The areas of processing of the authorizations, becomes important, we are indeed also indicating that the IUCMA has been doing well in this regard, as we've processed all the license applications as received, and the performance levels has been at 102% for the year under review. We're also looking at ensuring that those who continue to engage in activities that seek to pollute the resource, those are taken to task through various enforcement mechanisms. In this regard, we are reporting that the performance level in this area has been at 100%. For both areas that require compliance and those areas that certainly require us to take action, including prosecuting those who are polluting this precious resource. I will now hand over Chairperson to our Chief Financial Officer, who will take the committee through the performance level of the organization in the year under review. Thank you very much.
CFO.
Yes, Chair, thank you very much. Morning, Chairperson. Good morning as well to all members present, all protocol observed. My name is Sandra Mahunda. I'll be presenting the financial statements for 22-23 for the IUCMA. Chairperson would like to firstly report in terms of compliance matters. The agency has prepared the financial statements based on GRAP, and according to the Accounting Standards Board, we had GRAP 1 and GRAP 105 that was published. There were amendments that were made, and these were earlier adopted by the agency, but there was no material impact to the reporting process. So the person would also like to report that there was non-compliance with regards to irregular expenditure that was identified and subsequently reported in the financial statements for 22-23. The financial results as presented, Chair, have been presented on an accrual basis and as well as a going concern. No prior adjustments were made in the accounting statements, nor were there any changes in accounting estimates. Would also like to report that the net surplus for year 22-23 was at 42.8 million, which was an increase from 22-22 that reported 8.7 million. Net surplus reported amounted to 42.8 million, which again, Chair, is an increase as compared to 31 March 2022 that reported a net assets of 44.9 million. Chair, and with regards to the statement of financial performance, would like to report on the cash inflows. The agency realized an increase, 11% increase of total revenue in the financial year. In the prior year, we reported revenues of 162 million versus what we're now reporting today of 182 million, Chair. The main increase, Chair, were reported under government grants that reported 133, and this constituted 73% of our total revenue. The movement in between the two comparative years was 8%. The main increase, Chair, was realized in the additional augmentation received from the department, valued at 21 million, as well as the recognition of conditional grant, which was valued at 30.5 million. Chair, the grant that was actually received and allocated to the agency as of the beginning of the financial year was actually 82 million. So the amounts cumulatively then were reported at 133 million. There is an appreciation, Chair, that there is a strained fiscus and just the national economic state. For this reason, the agency has incepted a process wherein we're hoping to have a concept document that identifies alternative revenue sources. This is really as well to curb the heavy reliance that the agency has on government grants. Chair, we're hoping this concept document will change the way that CMAs are operating in South Africa. We're really proud of the process that we've engaged in. We have also tabled our thoughtful processes to National Treasury, and these have been highly recommended. So we are hoping to be presenting the concept document to the shareholder for consideration. We're also excited about the introduction of the wastewater discharge charge. This is expected to reduce, again, the reliance on government grants and to really augment the financial position of the agency in future years. Looking at the cash outflows, Chair, we are presenting our expenditures for the financial year. Would like to report that the agency reported a total decrease of expenditure of 7%. This is a move from 153 million to 144 million reported in 22-23. The agency continues to set aside quite a large chunk of its budget to personnel costs, as it's a service-intensive entity. Not only are we focusing on personnel costs, but we're also looking at continuing to support cost drivers like office lease agreements, laboratory testing, as well as activities that are linked to monitoring and compliance. Whilst the agency does prioritize these cost drivers, Chair would like to also highlight that these amounts are closely monitored to ensure that they do not perform outside the budget parameters. The agency, Chair, in the financial year has applied cost containment strategy, and we have actually noted that with the publication that has been released by National Treasury, the agency had already looked at some of these focus areas already. And the application of this strategy realized a saving in the financial year under report of 9.7 million, Chair. We have continued applying this strategy in the current financial year. We've also applied the guidelines as published by National Treasury as well. And we're hoping to see continued savings in this space. Substantial savings in the financial year were reported under general expenses, and these had a reduction of about 101% between the two financial years. Personnel costs increased by about 7%, Chair, and this was mainly due to cost of living adjustments between the two financial years under report. Chair would also want to report the performance of our balance sheet. We have seen an increase of 89% based on accumulated surpluses, and this does confirm, Chair, that our balance sheet is solvent. Would also like to confirm that we have reported current ratio of 2.41:1, which again is indicative that the balance sheet is indeed solvent and we are a going concern. We just want to also highlight the main performance drivers, which was a 27% increase in cash and cash equivalents. We've also noted a 37% decrease in payables from exchange transactions. Chair, we also reported reductions with the conditional grants following the conditions having been met for these particular funds that were reserved. Budget management, Chair, would like to confirm that the entity did perform within budgets. Budget limitation is approved. We had a 3% saving of overall budget. The budget was approved at 147 million, and then the actuals came in at 144 million. The agency does continue to put reliance on funding from the DWS, as indicated by the budget that had set aside 60% of the funding from this particular revenue stream. We are hoping, Chair, that in future periods, with the implementation of the wastewater discharge charge, as well as implementation of some of the concept documents we're developing, would see an overall reduction of 47% on augmentation as released by the department. Revenue collected from water users was reported an adverse variance of 43%, Chair. This was mainly due to the reduction of billable volumes, as well as an application of tariffs that came in lower than planned following the approval of the Minister of Water and Sanitation. Personnel costs saw an increase of 1% based on the budget, and these were actually reported 4% higher than the budgeted amounts as per the end of the financial year. All other costs, Chair, did perform within budget with a 74% decline with projects based on budgeted figures. With regards to the fruitless and wasteful expenditure, Chair would like to report that the entity did not report any wasteful expenditure for the financial year 22-23. We did, however, report irregular expenditure to the value of 851,000 in the financial year. 494,000 of this was reported following the identification of irregular processes applied to approve international trips. Chair, this amount has now subsequently been condoned by National Treasury for write-off. Would also want to confirm to the committee that this particular irregular expenditure was due to matters relating to the delegation of authority. We have since revised the delegation of authority and also created a sub-delegation of authority document, which is being managed very closely. 357,000 was reported as irregular following applied sourcing processes for ICT-related services. Would also want to confirm, Chair, that in conjunction with our internal audit team, we have managed to ensure that contract management is now being closely monitored, and we can confirm that all issues that resulted to this amount have then been treated, and we're not expecting any further reports under these items. With the external audit reports, Chair, would like to confirm that the agency did receive its 13th consecutive year of an unqualified opinion expressed by the external auditors, and this becomes really the benchmark which we are hoping to continue to perform according to. We're also reporting that the findings, as reported by the external auditor, amounted to 19. But Chair, whilst the number may seem quite extensive, these were all housekeeping matters. We had no matters of emphasis raised, and during the audit process, it was also identified that these were just areas we needed to look into to really improve the control environment, but they were not, in essence, matters that compromise the performances of the agency, financial performance in any way. During the audit, Chair, we did manage to resolve 11 of these findings while the external audit team was on site. 8 of these are partially resolved, but would like to confirm that by the end of the financial year, all items that were noted will be fully resolved to ensure readiness for the external audit for 23-24 financial year. Thank you. Chairperson, I'm just going to hand over the rest of the presentation to my CEO. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. We just wanted to reflect just 2 last slides, Chair, in relation to some of the issues that we're facing on the ground. We're quite happy that the Minister has given us the delegations now. We are looking at internally to look at the kind of capacity that we have to implement the delegation. Some of the issues the work that we do is already in line with the delegation is provided by the Minister, and we're quite excited about that. The issues around unauthorized water usage, which is connections, it's a matter that is worrying us. The issues around the slow transformation process around HDIs. The context of this matter, Chair, is in relation to land ownership by HDIs in allowing them to be commercial farmers. So in that is the context of this point, Chairperson, that the majority of HDIs are still small-scale farmers, and we want to be part of the process to really see more of HDIs applying for licenses that have to do with commercial farming. Issues around water use authorization, but those are matters that we are looking at. The last slide, Chair, in light of all the issues that have been presented, what is then the IUCMA going to be doing going forward? Some of the issues relate to what we want to continue to implement going forward, and this includes the continuation of the implementation of the water quality improvement strategy. We also want to continue to implement resource-directed measures and source-directed measures. We also want to increase our efforts in terms of ensuring that we implement more collaborative measures with other spheres of government. We have found that this has been a solution that works for us. Collaborative, increase the level of collaboration, but at the same time, also apply the law in terms of some of the punitive measures that we're taking as an organization, particularly in areas where we've seen the levels of E. coli and ammonia resulting from the poor maintenance and operation of the wastewater treatment works. We will not let go of this as long as we see it occurring within the water management area. In the next financial year, Chair, we also wish to improve and update our quality improvement strategy, water quality improvement strategy, which will obviously include the participation of external stakeholders, in particular industry, being the mines, where we want to say to them, you also have a role to play in ensuring that the water resources remain at pristine levels, as we've seen some regression with issues around quality. Chairperson, that will conclude our presentation from the IUCNA in respect of the work that's been done in the last financial year. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity. And I think as the board, we are very pleased with the agency's performance for the financial year under review. Specifically, the achieved results in relation to the predetermined objectives and also the audit outcomes, which are a reflection of good governance and sound internal controls. And I think, Chair, as indicated in our presentation, despite these good audit outcomes, Chair, we still strive to address some of the findings, although not material. And I think we want to appreciate Chair and the committee, and are also happy to receive the committee's inputs for further improvement of our performance. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much. Before we take the last one, are you still going to be with us further than that here?
Good morning, Chairperson. The minister is not here. The DM is the one that's going to the department, yes.
DM Shabalala?
Yes.
Okay, no, that's fine. If she's here, that's fine. Then she will come into the phone later because she's present. I'm not sure whether she, yeah, but that let's allow the last entity. Meneer Van Staden.
Yeah, good morning, Chair. For the Breede-Gouritz CMI, the annual report for 2022. Can I continue, Chair?
Yes, we're waiting for you.
Annual report for 2022-2023. And Chair, I must say, for you and all the members, this is the last time it will be presented as the Breede-Gouritz CMI. The Breede-Gouritz CMI already changed in November of last year to the Breede-Olifant CMI. So this is the last one for the Breede-Gouritz CMI, because in future and currently there's only going to be one CMI in the Western Cape with the name of Bokma. Just for the last time, introduction where the Breede-Gouritz CMI is situated. We are the eastern and the southern part of the Western Cape, mainly including the Klein Karoo, the Great Karoo, the beautiful Southern Cape, and also the Boland area. The vision quickly, I mean, we are standing for this in all our thinking and how we do our work. Quality water for all forever. I think that is saying everything what is catchment management actually all about. Then just where we situated and our relationship with other entities and the national department and the minister. I mean, the minister is on top. We are we are assisting in a function of the Department of Water and Sanitation. We've got a very close link with provincial government, local government. In our area is also one water board with the name of Overberg Water. And then what is very importantly that we rely heavily on all our catchment management forums to assist the Breede-Gouritz CMI to manage water resources. And of course, we also got water users associations and irrigation boards in the area. And just quickly, the values. This one is not only for mentioning what it is. I think the understanding is also that if you really live out and work out these values, and your stakeholders can see these values that you are following, there's also a tendency among stakeholders to more support catchment management, especially you will see later how the Breede-Gouritz CMI actually increase revenue collection. And I think this value part is one of the important factors in achieving this. So it's all about integrity, accountability, empowerment, approachability, and equity. In the reporting later on in the presentation is all in relation to the strategic objectives of the Breede-Gouritz CMI. These are water resource planning, water use management, institutional and stakeholder relations, water allocation reform, water resource protection, strategic support, and management and governance. Chair, you will notice these are all things that are very closely associated with catchment management, and especially the part where you actually need the involvement of the local communities to help you to assist to reach your goals and objectives. Some of the highlights of the Breede-Gouritz CMI in this year of reporting. What's very important, and we are actually very proud to say and present this, is that we receive an unqualified audit opinion. I must say it's also worth findings, but previously it was a qualified audit opinion, and this qualified audit opinion of the previous years were mostly related to some of the records of the water users was not 100% actually available or accurate, and is actually linked to previously the merger of different water management areas where it was like a difficult and a challenge to keep all the records together. But hopefully this is now, it is resolved, and the aim is still, we're not going to stop here. The aim is the next level, and that is a clean audit. The next one that's important, as it is the lifeblood of a catchment management agency, is actually how you collect your revenue from the water users. And it's very glad to present that we actually increase our collection rate from our water users from 79% in the previous year up to 89% in this year of reporting. It was an increase of 10%. That is quite significant. Then here's a couple of photos of our community projects that we supported financially, and some of them we support financially and implemented. We call it in terms of, we've got a policy in the Breede-Gouritz CMI that we call our grant policy. In this one, we support communities in water-related projects, and most of these projects are normally about establishing of food gardens, for example, irrigation awareness and education. So this is a couple of slides what we did. The bottom slide actually here is in an area called Hermanus Honoris, where we actually supported and funded a disabled community actually to do better food gardening now by funding, for example, raised garden beds so that the people can also work in the soil and produce some food. Then we also successfully implemented a rain harvesting tanks project across the whole of the Breede-Gouritz area at that time. Here is 2 photos of these tanks. And these tanks are mostly, almost solely, installed to collect rainwater. And the water is actually used for the irrigation of small-scale gardens. And it's not so much for drinking water. So this irrigation water in the tanks allow people around their houses or the places where they stay to actually produce like vegetables, for example, that they can use for own consumption. But I mean, if there's excess, it also can stimulate, you can actually sell your produce to other people. And by doing that, you can also get some additional income. Then what is also key for successful catchment management is this whole thing about all the aliens, vegetations next to our rivers. I mean, these alien vegetation, it suck out water, it totally destroy the habitat. So here is a good example. It's the Holsloot River is close to the Twiskloof Tunnel. On the left-hand side, it was before, you can see all the trees, the invasive trees growing. On the right side, it's the same river, and here the vegetation is removed, and the river is almost back to natural. What is also for me important to mention here is that this Holsloot River actually feed the Greater Brandfly scheme. That is a scheme of the state. So it's an example where the Catchment Management Agency is actually working very closely with the Department of Water and Sanitation, because by doing this, you actually ensure that more water reaches the dam. This is a photo what I talk about, the Greater Brandfly. This was the canal, the raising of the Brandfly Canal, a photo of this, and it's a very good photo because actually just after raising the canal flow fully, and this water is going into the Brandfly Dam. This was also implemented by the Department of Water and Sanitation in this current reporting period. And by doing this, the department and the minister actually made a lot of water available in the Brandfly Dam that can be allocated for future water users. And that's why this photo was used, where our target is saying that 100% of all the license applications that the Breede-Gouritz CMI received in that financial year, it was actually processed. And many of those licenses processed are actually linked to this additional water that is now available in the Brandfly Canal because of the raising of the canal by the department. Here, if I can move to the annual performance information. So I previously mentioned our strategic objectives. So the first one is water resource planning, and this one is linked to all the planning activities that's happening in the local area of the Breede-Gouritz CMI, like for example, water planning, rezoning applications, etc. Those are very important because if you process them good and quickly and thoroughly, I mean, you create economic growth, but also if you approve plans in the right place, you're also protecting people and communities and infrastructure by not allowing, for example, development too close to water, to river flows. And if the river is then coming down and flood, at least the people and the infrastructure are protected. So this one is quite important for local catchment management. The next one is water use management. This is actually the core of a CMI. This is all linked to the approval to get the necessary authorization to use water. So I want to mention again here, percentage of licenses recommended as per regulation. Our target was actually 85%, but we achieved 100%. We're very proud of this one because if I think about it, for every license that is approved by the department, I must mention that the Breede-Gouritz CMI plays the role of a recommending authority. So we recommend or not, and then it pass through to the Department of Water and Sanitation that then issue or not issue the license. But everyone that is issued a license, behind the license, there are sitting economic growth, there's sitting social development, there's sitting investment, there's sitting future jobs created. So it's very important actually to process licenses quickly and efficiently for all the benefits downstream. And I want to mention the number of water quality compliance report on municipal wastewater treatment works that discharges to water resources. This target is all in relation to all the talk of maybe that the water quality and the bacteriological pollution of rivers that is going to impact people is actually to play a role to hamper that is not going to happen. And that target was actually succeeded. We planned for 4, we achieved 7, so the target was exceeded. And I must say, Chair, in general, the water quality in the Breede-Gouritz CMI is of fairly good quality. The next one of the strategic objectives are the named institutional and stakeholder relations. This one is also key to successful water resource management, because without the involvement of the community, empowerment of the community, raising awareness, you cannot win in the game of water resource management. That's why we spent a lot of resources of the Breede-Gouritz CMI in this one to actually increase the involvement of our local communities. Because I want to say again, if this is not done right, you cannot do catchment management alone as a water entity. You need the support of the community. Then the next one is the one called water allocation reform. So here is if I can summarize this one, I mean, it's a standing rule and practice inside the Breede-Gouritz CMI. Every resource poor farmer that's approaching the Breede-Gouritz CMI for all types of things, like, for example, water use license applications, technical detail, etc. We supported everyone. So everyone that's coming to the office is locked, so we can see that we actually achieve 100%. So our target was met. And then also we held a number of workshops to capacitate and empower resource poor farmers in water resource management. We planned 2 and we actually did 4. And then the photo that was shown previously, our number of rainwater harvesting tanks installed. As I said before, this one is linked to small-scale irrigation. We planned for 400, and actually we spent the total budget, and 400 was achieved. Now, the other part of the river, I dealt with the use part of water resources, but the water resource on the river and groundwater also needs to be protected. So we call that one water resource protection. And of course, to protect water, you need to know what is the quality and the flow of rivers and groundwater. And that's our target for number of Breede-Gouritz CMI water resource points monitored. Our target was 80. We actually achieved 106. So there's a range of a monitoring network throughout the Breede-Gouritz CMI, where we collected on a regular basis, like quality samples, for example. And then we check, when we receive the analysis back from the lab, we do assessment and see where are the hotspots, and if any, then I mean we take the necessary action by rectifying the situation. Then the next one I want to mention is the number of river rehabilitation projects funded and technically supported. This one, it was also linked to the picture that was previously shown about the highlights. Is all about the removal of alien vegetation on the banks of rivers. So our target was 3. We actually achieved 3. So by implementing and funding these projects, you make more water available. I mean, there's also the very important spin-off of you actually need people to do the work, so it's job creation, and also you restore the integrity of the habitat, for example, next to the rivers, and bring back more of the natural habitat. And then the compliance, or the people not complying to authorization or a general authorization, you need to do compliance monitoring and enforcement. So this one is also locked inside the office. So everybody that's complaining, filling in a complaint form, is actually investigated and report back. And our target on this one was 100%, and actually was what the chief was 100%. The next one after strategic objectives are strategic support. These are like the normal things to run a water entity. So let's start percentage of reports complying with listed financial reporting prescripts. This target can only be 100% because it's linked to legislation and rules, and we actually achieve 100%. Then the number of proposed tariff reports submitted to the Department of Water and Sanitation, complying with the pricing strategy. There can only be 1 a year for the next year tariffs. That's normally approved by the minister, and we achieved the 1. So this one is very important because this one is linked to the charges that is actually paid by water users that sustain the Breede-Gouritz CMI. Then want to mention the target of the indicator of percentage of targeted procurement budget spent on BBBEE. The planned target was 100% of the set amount that was set aside for these type of procurement, and we achieved 78% of that set amount. And some of the comment on the deviation here is the Breede-Gouritz CMI in that year, because future we will be Bokma, is we are situated about all of us in a type of a rural area. So it's very difficult always to find the right people to do the necessary bidding or provision of services, etc. Then percentage of water resource management charges collected. Our planned target for that year was 77%. We actually achieved 89%, and we're very proud of that figure. In the prevailing economic environment, there was a prevailing drought in the area at that time, but still we managed to increase by 10% by doing the right things, and like I also said previously, to actually live and work out the values of the Breede-Gouritz CMI. That actually it prompts people to also play a role, and I mean sometimes to play a role is actually do the necessary required payments of water resource charges. Then the matter of the organogram, we planned for the filling of 75% of the organogram. We actually for that year our organogram was actually filled just over 80%, so we met the target or exceed the target. Then this one I want to highlight, the matter of the number of shareholders compact signed. This one is all about every year there's a compact agreement between the minister and the board of the Breede-Gouritz CMI. There can only be 1 a year, but it's quite a process to compile everything, and that one was achieved, so the target was met. Then, Chair, if I can move away from the strategic objectives to quickly employment equity statistics for that year. The Breede-Gouritz CMI in general is on all levels. We are fully represented of what is happening in this country. So if I can summarize, we are an institution that is about over in the order of 90%, 94% Black, consisting out of all the different groups, and about, you can call it about 6% of white officials. This one we're very proud of. In the Breede-Gouritz CMI, the males are 42%, the females are 58%. On the level of senior management, 67% of senior management posts are filled by females. On the level of the income, the salary basis, 60% of the payroll is actually also going to females. So there's everywhere fully represented of what must happen in this country, and we're very proud of this statistic. And I must mention on this one also, in the Breede-Gouritz CMI, the percentage of people with disability is 2.7% on the organogram. Chair, I will hand now over to the CFO, Zanele.
It's me who have lost you.
Now we are here, Chair.
Is the presentation finished?
No, they were handing over to the CFO of Breede-Gouritz.
Okay.
I think we have lost them.
Chair, I'm still here. I'm just waiting for the CFO. Why are you not? You must present now, right? They're waiting now for you. It's your turn now. For a portfolio committee. Yeah, sorry, the portfolio committee is now. Okay,
but this is unacceptable. We're waiting for somebody speaking.
Chair, we're still waiting. Can I just Chair,
it's very unprofessional, I'm telling you. What is this now?
No, we can't wait and somebody speak somewhere else. Please.
Chair, can I continue?
Please. Why are you not continuing if there is no one to continue on your behalf? Please do, because we can't sit here and just wait for somebody and somebody speaking.
Okay, Chair, thank you. I will continue. At the finances of the Breede-Gouritz Catch Management Agency for that year, overview of total operating expenditure. The agency budget for the 22-23 financial year was 82 million, and the financial year prior to that budget was 75,106. The augmentation allocation from the department for that year amounted to 40,173 million, which shows a slight decline of 452,000 as compared to the prior year. The expenditure during the 22-23 financial year increased from 78 million to 90 million. The increase is largely attributed to the increase in the provision for doubtful debts. The annual salary cost increase is due to the number of staff employed, as well as cost of living increase. The employee-related costs included salary, staff benefits, and travel and subsistence cost. The water trading, that is the part of the water charges. The revenue from catchment management charges reflect an increase of 1% to 48,753 million when compared to the prior year of 49,102 million. This is attributed by the increase of catchment management charges and also the effort by the agency in ensuring efficiency in billing. Chair, I just want to stop here and ask if the CFO is now present to continue. Zanele, are you here?
Yes, Yanni, I am here. Thank you very much.
You can start at the bottom, debtors collection days.
All right. Good morning, members. Apology for this. I'm very much confused because we had a meeting yesterday. I thought the one for today was replaced by the one yesterday. Apology for that. Okay. So debtors collection days. Last financial year, we collected in reflecting of 350 days. And then it has decreased to 316 in 2023, which means the number of days has been decreased, and that was caused by putting more effort in the collection of revenue from significant customers. Okay, go on, Yanni. Then this is just a graph that reflects what has been presented in the slide before this one. Next, yeah. Okay, this one is the statement of financial position. In terms of a non-current asset, our non-current asset has been increased by 2.3 million. The current assets has been increased by 12 million, which make a total asset increase by 14 million. The reason for the increase is a purchase of the softwares, new softwares, also furniture and other capital expenditure within the organization. And then a net asset liability, our total accumulated surplus has also been increased by 14.2 million, which reflect the collection of revenue, which the organization has excelled in it. And then the total liabilities has also been increased by 400,000. This slide is showing that our asset do exceed the liability, which is a good sign that there is a good financial management within the organization. Okay, this one is a statement of financial position. You will see that for the year under review, our total revenue, we reported 104 million. And then the total expenditure, we reported 90 million, which give us a surplus for the year of 14 million compared to the year prior to that of 21 million. Thank you, Yanni. This slide shows the project that Uyani has elaborated about in the previous slide. The budget for all the project amounted to 6.2 million. And then we have spent the 5.9 million.
which include of alien clearing, water analysis, VNV, and social upliftment. And then the difference of that between 6.2 and 5.9 million, that one we've rolled over to this current financial year. We've disclosed it in the annual financial statement, and the difference was caused by alien clearing due to bad weather. We could not continue with some of the project in other areas for the alien clearing. Okay. And then the cash flow statement. The agency had a positive net cash flow. Operating activities amounted to 15 million in the year under review and 17.6 million in the previous year. This decrease is attributed by operational cost increased, which is the inflation, with the result factor of decrease in the net income. Cash and cash equivalent reflected a positive balance of 112 million in the year under review and 96 million in the prior year. The increase of 16.3 under cash and cash equivalent shows that the agency has the ability to meet its short-term debts obligation, and it is an indication that the agency had adequate resources to continue in the operations for the future. Unqualified audit opinion, definitely Yanni has touched to this. We had 3 matters of emphasis in our financial statement. The first one was the auditors, as much as we've received 89% collections under revenue, but the auditors said we must strive for 100%. So this finding is for us not to meet the 100% of revenue collections. They said we must put more effort and strive to receive full amount for the financial year. So that's the first finding. The second finding is about the irregular expenditure of 1.7 million. This irregular expenditure originates from the previous year, financial year. We appointed the service provider for traveling agency, and some of the criteria were not met in terms of the preferential procurement framework. So what happened, we've managed to communicate with the service provider to cancel the contract. But during the term of going on tender, and the service provider requested that we give them the notice period of about 3 months. So by that time, we were incurring costs because we could not just stop the contract immediately. So this 1.7 is the irregular expenditure that is coming from the previous year identified irregular expenditure. And then the third one is consequence management. The auditors find this as a finding. According to the National Treasury Irregular Expenditure Framework, apparently the consequence management, the investigation must be done by an independent organization, which in our case, we did it internally. So they advise us that it must be done by the internal auditors. So the board already appointed our internal auditors to go through this assignment in order to check what causes the irregular expenditure. And then just to bring to the attention of the members, for all the irregular expenditure incurred, there was no act of fraud, no corruption, or any criminal misconduct. There was no financial loss. The value for money was achieved. Thank you. Intervention taken to improve the revenue collection, as Yanni presented under the indicators that we were planning to achieve 77% for the revenue collection, but we end up achieving 89%. The management and the staff put more effort in trying to collect all the monies due to the agency, now that we know that financial constraints is facing the whole country. So what we've done, We've implemented a recovery plan to support the effective and efficiency of debt recovery. And then we also implemented the automated system for distribution of invoices and statement to all our customers. So all our customers now can go to our website and view the invoices and statement. So we don't have issues of that in the rural areas. The post office delivered late and the customer did not receive the invoice. So they can go into our website and view the invoices. And then we've also introduced a debt incentive scheme whereby we are encouraging our customers to come up front to us. If we agreed to, they can pay the capital amount and the interest due for that particular time we can write off. So customers are coming in numbers. They are looking forward to this incentive scheme. So that's also one of the reasons that our collection has increased drastically. Also, we've also joined the National Treasury RT 27-2019, that is debt collection scheme that the National Treasury has introduced. The agency is participating in this contract and has appointed debt collection agency as another form of strengthening its debt management process. We've also capacitated our revenue unit by appointing more staff to ensure full recovery of monies owed to the state. We've also strengthened our customer relations. Like, for instance, our staff will go out and meet with the users in order to create a good relationship and to build trust to them. We will also show them how are they benefiting to those projects that we embarked on in our areas. So this is another way of encouraging them to pay. So we are creating a good relationship with our customers. We also have several meetings with critical stakeholders where the outstanding issues will be resolved. And this all contributed positively to the revenue collection within the agency. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Chair. That's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. DM.
Thank you so much, Chair. Truly appreciate the opportunity. Chair, as you can see, and that's what we've been working on, and so far as this is concerned, and all the agencies that have presented. Firstly, we want to say to the committee, as agreed yourself, Chair, and all the members of the portfolio committee, truly appreciate, including all the officials on the platform. With myself, I think they've introduced themselves, including the DDG Lusenga, who's leading here because of the DGs unable to be here. Firstly, we want to say that you would appreciate that the WRC and CMAs are Schedule 3A entities, of course, because in terms of the PFMA. And part of their public entities, it's for them to submit the annual report, which is what they managed to do, and that's what we want to note. Now, there has been highlights, Chair, of the annual reports for all of them. Firstly, things that I think from myself that we want to swift is that the WRC has received the unqualified audit opinion, of course, with matters of emphasis, and there was no material findings, of course, on the financial statement that they indeed met all the required standards, and they would have registered a total income of what we term as levies and leverage income, your 409 million during 22-23 financial year.
Then you will move over to IUCMA that would have achieved its 13 consecutive unqualified audit report, which is a testament to the commitment that accountability and transparency insofar as them discharging the mandate. However, there was an overall increase of that 11% of revenue generated following the reported figures of 182 million in 23 financial year and 162 million in 2022. They also had that increase due to the augmentation and an additional 21 million received. And that's what I think that needs to be swifted. We would have the BGCMA that would have received their unqualified audit opinion, and there wasn't any material findings that were identified on issues of compliance with the specific matters in key legislation that is set out in general notice that would have been issued. They have collected revenue that increased from the 79%, which is something good, Chairperson, in the previous performance year, and in 22-23 would have seen them being able to really collect 89%, which is something that I think needs to be commendable, and the questions needs to be coming out to say how do they also others can share in terms of their practice and how they're doing it. They're able to do that, which is something quite good, because we are currently, we know in many areas it's very difficult to recover or rather have revenue collection to that extent. Now, their total expenditure for the 22-23, they would have increased for that 78 million to 90 million on this. Now, this entity's mandates, Chairperson, insofar as matters of their areas. For instance, the WRC would generate new knowledge, as you know, and they promote the country's water research. And this mandate for them really includes promoting coordination, the cooperation, the communication in the area of water research and development. And some things that we need to note, because this is an establishment that we have within our entities that indeed it can really assist and go a long way. One, in matters of promoting the effectiveness, a transfer of information and technology, the enhancing knowledge, the capacity building within the water sector. And this is what we've seen that they are already doing it. What we need to be perhaps speaking about is the expansion and also making sure that they do have the necessary capacity insofar as human resource and other financial resources are concerned. Now, the Water Research Commission Chair, one thing that we want to swift as ministry level is that there are certain, 121 new projects of research that were spanning a wide number of topics under the WRCs, and these were different themes that they would have reported. And something that I'm also wanting to swift out is that you would have seen that they had implemented 150 projects that were completed and in this ongoing portfolio. It's something that I think we need to complement. Then we have the SMAs, the management agencies, catchment management agencies. And, part of what they do, managing the water resources at catchment level in collaboration with local stakeholders. And for me, the specific focus of involving local communities in the decision-making regarding meeting of basic human needs, promoting equitable access to water and facilitating social and economic development. And I think CMAs have continued to really operate within that delegated mandate. And this had resulted in achievement of its key strategic outcome. It's something that we also wanted to swift and lift within yourselves, Chair. The Inkomati-Usuthu Catchment Agency in the year, obviously, they would have managed to be out at their utmost best insofar as management of water resources and and within the water management area. And the annual report really, Chair, has accounts on all achievements in line with the planned targets of their APP. And this they have done by continuing with the protection of an enhancement of that natural resources, while also making a socio-economic contribution. And I think the part of processing their water licenses, the WLs and the IUCMA once again place itself amongst the top performers, Chair, in 2023 financial year. Processing the WLs has been identified as one of the tools for ensuring transformation in the water sector. And this is an area that we want to lift out that has been noted. And the year under review has showed really a dedication of the agency in working towards this transformation in the sector, of which is something that we're also stressing at the level of from the Minister Mtunu and dear Mahlobo, to say that we really need to see transformation and in these instances, including, as I speak about transformation, issues of having people, persons with disabilities, and having young people to be able to participate in these areas and take opportunities. And this we would have noted that there has been a number of increase insofar as women taking strategic leadership positions. And what needs to be noted is that you would see in most of these agencies that most the women are leading in so far strategic positions. And in these presentations, you would have seen them in the meeting, including having the WRC being a woman who's quite new and very vested with so much capacity that indeed we are taking the issues of transformation very seriously. Now, you would have challenges, Chair, because we can't just only speak about what has been the good things that has come out. I think we also have to shift at the level of ministry challenges that we would have seen that IUCMA, for instance, would have experienced some challenges during the year under review, such as the non-payment of water users, which would have resulted in financial strain being exerted in the organization. The board would have acknowledged the challenges faced by government regarding the need to provide these financial resources when the needs far exceeds what it can really provide. The pollution of the resource by users, it remains a huge challenge. And this year, Chair, we hope that at the level of ministry and yourselves as members of parliament, we should be able to also try to see how we can also form those type of partnerships insofar as pollutions that would also send, but educating and ensuring that the communities around and the areas around, be it in the municipalities or any other areas, these matters of pollutions are taken very seriously and are addressed with immediate speed. The matters of non-finalization of their verification and validation process due to this ongoing litigation, and we see it as a huge challenge and would want to have some resolutions around it. The BGCMA, Chair, there was many notable achievements during the reporting year, and one would have been the processing of their water use license within the specified timeframes. This would have noted, and they have done very well around these timeframes. They're working along with partners in the rehabilitation of rivers, removal of the alien vegetation, the extensive monitoring of water resources, the implementation of their water-related grant policy projects, the awareness campaigns that they've been raising of a range, raising from a range of water resources issues, as well as an increase in the collection of catchment management agencies charges owing to such successful implementation of this collection strategies. Chair, they also would have noticed, and part of the challenges that we would have also realized that there are skills shortage within the South African labor market, and this despite the fact that we have high levels of unemployment in the country, something that we are stressing with them that it needs to also be addressed to make sure the skilling, but you don't also have this shortage, especially when it comes to labor force, because we can't have excuses of, be it of vacancies or any other areas where people can be affected that are indeed qualified, are available to be a labor force in this country, and something that we are taking very serious, Chair. From ourselves as the Ministry, Chair, we want to say to yourself, we have been working very hard to ensure that indeed we are equal to the task insofar as these matters are concerned. We've been seized with them through the leadership of Minister Mchunu, and this you would have seen. And I want to say, Chair, we really appreciate the support from the members of Parliament in this portfolio. You would have grown with these institutions. You would have been with them for quite some time. And when they register such successes, we want to really thank them, including and the leadership of WRC, IUCMA, BOCMA, insofar as their senior managers, the CEOs that are concerned, and the persons that are line functions and working under them. So from my side, Chair, I want to say that thank you so much. Maybe let me hand over to yourself, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry. May I invite hands of the members who want to ask questions of clarity and even make input onto the presentations? The report seems to be covering everybody. I think no hand is up. Okay, yeah, there's one hand, Honorable Mushala, Honorable Hendricks. Okay, let's hear the two hands up. Honorable Mushala, and will be followed.
No, thanks so much, Chairperson. I don't know whether I'm audible. Yes. With regards to the Breede-Gouritz Cash Management Agency, this is the final annual report this is the final annual report of the Breede-Gouritz CMA as next year. As next year, they will report as the Breede-Olifants CMA. Chairperson, what was the rationale for this? Is the scope of work extended? What is the impact of this decision on the current working of the Cash Management Agency? Chairperson, the processing of water use license application has faced many challenges, not only CMAs, but by the department as well. Have the strategies used by CMAs yielded any result? Chairperson, can you please can they please expand on Chairperson, the Inkomati-Usuthu maintains that it has successfully implemented its debt management strategy. Could the Cash Management Agency provide quantitative data on the status of debt in their area of work in the last few years, and whether numbers of debtors have decreased? Also, has the Cash Management Agency taken any legal processes against any of its customers? And to both these cash management agencies, which is Inkomati-Usuthu and the Breede-Gouritz Cash Management Agency, how do your institutions assist the department with assessing water losses in your areas of work? Chairperson, on Inkomati-Usuthu Cash Management Agency, how serious is the issue of underbilling due to decreases in registered volumes? And in the foreseeable future, will it impact revenue, which could lead to financial sustainability? How is the agency addressing this challenge? Chairperson, lastly, on the question on the WRC, what are your findings and recommendations that emerge at the first international water non-sewage sanitation hosted by the Water Research Commission? Chairperson, let me add, I think, another one on Inkomati-Usuthu. What are some of the challenges encountered in dealing with transboundary water management resources, and how has Inkomati addressed this? Thanks so much, Chair.
Honorable Hendricks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, we heard that the research...
Yes, Mr. Hendricks, I was talking to Honorable Musala. I was talking to, you can continue.
What are you saying, Chair? I did not hear.
I will repeat later. Hendricks, I appeal.
No, proceed, because you just said something now.
Honorable Hendricks.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm sorry, they keep on interrupting me, Honorable Chair. That's disrespectful. You've given permission for me to speak, and honorable members must respect your decision. Honorable Chair, thank you very much once again.
Oh, now you're very out of order, Honorable Khanif. It's Honorable Chair who's disturbing your meeting. It's not me. So address Honorable Chair. It's the one that is disturbing your meeting.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, once again for the third time. Honorable Chair, I'm very impressed that we have a new research commission, and they seem to be very enthusiastic. I want to know from them whether their scientific analysis and research extends to testing water in water tanks, because as you know that water tanks is being used to address so many emergencies throughout the country. And it's important that people that go to the water tanks know that the water is safe to drink. And then I want to know whether they don't want to recommend to you, Honorable Chair, that we make more use of water sanitation tablets. And we want to know if the water sanitation tablets will work, because there are reports that water that gets from water tankers are also contaminated and people can get cholera. Having said that, Honorable Chair, I have met with the professors at UCT, Stellenbosch, the local universities in Cape Town, and they told me that the norms and standards that we are using to test the quality of water has last been updated decades ago. So I want to know if the research department or commission has got any plans to re-look at the norms and standards so that it meets international requirements. Chair, I have been involved in a water project in Ghana as a member of an African bloc, and they were promised 100 to 200 billion rand by the World Bank and other donors if they can give the assurance that there will be a proper management in place, and that the monies won't be wasted, and the deliverables will be achieved. I followed the work of this team from London that prepared all the senior people working in water, water. I'm not sure if it's sanitation, but in water. And it has been successfully introduced, and everyone in water is on board after having convinced the funders and the donors and the lenders that there will be a turnaround strategy that will make Ghana one of the countries in Africa that will provide clean water to its residents by opening a tap. I would like to know if the Commission would be interested to know about this research and get access, and at a later time maybe recommend to us, Honourable Chair, as Portfolio Committee members, that maybe in the way forward we should consider some of the strategies used in Ghana. Thank you very much, Honourable Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me see whether there is another hand. There is none. Just two comments I want to make. The one on the Water Research Commission.
My hand is up.
One
Chair.
Where is it up? Kobe's
There
name.
was no hand that is
Yeah.
up.
Now it is up. It was never up.
No, it was never up from the beginning. It was never
Yeah.
up.
Let's hear that, Sis Nancy.
Straight like that.
Thank you, Chair. I have a problem with my tablet. I'm using my phone. That may be the reason that it's up and down, up and down. Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity. Thank you for the presentations. I think all the entities are quite clear in their programs, and they've got progressive programs and implementation in terms of their performance, which is quite impressive as a department. Just few areas from water research. The issue that which is very, very exciting, that in the parliamentary briefs that have been sent to Parliament, you have managed to see that they have made an influence in the policies of government. Perhaps it would not be easy for me to determine that. Can you mention one? Because it's important that we see progress in all structures that we have established. And impact, therefore, becomes important. The second one, Chair, is the issue of he has mentioned the 200 monitoring sites, monitoring quality and quantity. Now, you get interested more of the narrative of that. What does that mean, and what impact does it do in terms of the assisting the water quality. What does that mean? There's an issue of a decline on the groundwater users. One gets worried about that because it therefore means the entity should establish a clear strategy, which is a turnaround, to assist the users. Is there such that have been established by the entity? Thank you for the clarity, because when I was reading the report about the slow participation of HDI, I could not understand what does that mean. I think the context that the presenter has made, that is on the land ownership for them to be farmers. I do want to check perhaps if we have established a way to encourage them back in the process, because this is not an ordinary process. It's a process of redress, a transformation process, that licenses should not only owned by one sector group in the community. The population, which is the majority, should also participate in the farming. And then that slow participation is worrying. What is your strategy to encourage them back in the process? Have you assessed why? Because it may happen that there's got an issue of the economic pressures, the money, the value for money, and are unable to pay such taxes. Have you managed to research that? You mentioned that you're not you are exceeding your targets. It's a very, very a progressive performance, which we need to appreciate. But the question is, it's not the process, it's a service delivery issue, which looks on the performance and evaluate towards outcome and impact. Surely it may happen that you underscore your targets, and we want to get a lot of performance that impact to communities. Are you intending to review your targets so that we get more than get less? Because the targets is a number game, but we want more towards service delivery. The last one, Chair, is is it Komati who raised the issue of irregular expenditure? But he did not, he did expand on which area, when there was that irregular. But he then spoke about that they've been condoned by Treasury. That's fine, it's okay. But the issue is, what action did the entity do? Condoned comes last, but when you have picked that irregular expenditure of traveling of whatever, of 851,000, those that have caused that, has there been consequences to address that? Because it's an issue of accountability for value for money that have been wasted. The last one is the the last entity, raised an issue of the alliance that are against the riverside, the banks. In all this presentation, one could not get how are you involving the community except to employ that individual and that one, because programs of this nature are very, very exciting to communities for their community benefits economically. Now, are you having such? Because in cleaning those alliances, communities should participate in such programs. Thank you very much, Chair.
Nosipo, there are two names in the attendance register that are not necessarily names. And remember, in the meeting, we must know people who are in the meeting. There's somebody with an SE 658329 Bastion Bank as a name. That can't be a name. Is somebody who must be in the meeting. Who is he? There is another one who is called MK in the meeting. Who is that person? People should name their gadget for us to understand who are in the meeting, because otherwise we'll sit in the meeting in our meetings. Accept people who don't understand who they are on the outside.
We are
Now,
always what we told you, you'll come back to us. We told you when we started, we must do this thing.
But why do you think you have a right to do what you are doing, Rebecca? Why?
I'm just saying we are always the way. We'll always teach you how to.
Don't do that. No, don't do it, man. Please.
Yeah. Now you are coming back to us. We requested you to do this.
Don't do what you are doing, Rebecca. It is wrong.
Now you are doing.
Rebecca, you are wrong.
You must always
Don't
listen.
do what you're doing, Rebecca, please.
Point of order. I'm an honorable member.
No,
when I'm in
man,
parliament, you don't say Rebecca. You are very out of order.
I don't know. The name is written Rebecca Mhlala, EFF here. So I'm reading what is written.
I'm an honorable member when I'm in parliament.
There are no honorable in your name. It is written Rebecca Mhlala, EFF.
An honorable member. Okay. Don't just say Rebecca Mhlala. You are very out of order.
Honorable, you must end it. Don't end it.
I'm an honorable. You must be honorable.
Can you remove member Mhlala?
Are you the chair, Wena?
Please.
Okay.
You are wasting
in as far as the presentation is concerned, I hear you, Comrade Peters. On the Water Research Commission, and let me just say, generally, in all three entities, we must appreciate the good work you are showing. All of you have got either clean or unqualified audit, which is very important for us to note, because there is a posture in the domain, in the public domain, that everything government is doomed. There is nothing that government does that it reflects good work. Here we are sitting with three entities of importance in the water sector that all have got either clean audit or unqualified audit, with a small emphasis on them. Yes, of course, we must still strive for clean audit, but we must appreciate the good work you are doing, and for you to continue to do the good work that you are showing. But in the Water Research Commission, though I have listened to the presenter answering the 48% expenditure on the actual research work and the mitigating factors why that 48%, I must say I still will envy a situation where majority of the money spent must be spent on your actual job, which is research. Yes, the HR process is 26%. It's not that bad in terms of the international standard is 25. You are just above, but it's important to take. We'll still want to ask that you just strive to reach a little bit bigger number of your research job as a bigger expense on your side. But otherwise, good job done. With the Inkomati-Usuthu, I think I'm comfortable with what you have given as a report. But on the Breede-Gouritz, a question I want to ask: South Africa is facing financial constraints. I have heard your explanation, but it's still you have increased your collection level from 77 to 89 against the tide of all economics pointing downwards. If we might get to understand, to get the receipt of to learn from yourself to deal with that particular issue.
Can't hear you, Chairperson.
The fact that your employees' percentage at 100%.
Chairperson, can you please change your site where you are? We can't hear you.
Chairperson?
She's out of the platform.
The problem is with him is driving when he's chairing a meeting. They don't respect these platforms, these people. How can you drive when you are chairing?
Nosipo, can you phone him?
There's no way
just
that you
joined
will.
now.
Eh?
Ungenile ngoku. Unmute, Chairperson.
No, it's load shedding here. Let me just move from where I am to something different.
Okay.
I'm sure you have lost most of what I was saying. Let me get into another corner. I'm in Swan. Swan has got problems of load shedding.
Okay, can you clarify? Are you driving, Chair? Or are you in a...
No, I'm not driving. I'm in an office. I'm in an office.
Okay, I wanted you to clarify that. Thank you.
No, I'm in office.
Oh,
I'm in
he's
an
driving.
office.
He's driving.
No, you're lying. I'm in.
You were
No,
driving.
I'm in an.
You're
No,
driving.
I'm not driving here. I'm not driving. I'm in an office. I'm just outside the office. Here's the office. Here's the office. I'm not driving. I'm not telling the truth. I'm sorry, Chair. My apologies. It's just that there is no shedding in Swane. I don't know where did you lose me, but I was about to finish with Breede-Gouritz that I think you are doing well on your female-male employment. You have got 58% of those vis-a-vis 42% of males. And I was saying, generally, under normal circumstances, the biggest employing body does not reach that target. We must appreciate the good job you have done. Otherwise, thank you very much for your financial report. It is very exciting. Let me see then. Ma'am Nancy, your hand is still up. Can you lower it in order to allow the entities to respond to your questions as raised? On GM and your team, questions were raised by members. Can we answer them according to, not in any order of priority, but randomly as we did ourselves?
Right. No, thank you so much, Chairperson. Truly appreciate it. The questions are welcomed, and all of them are quite important. I would not answer, like you said, Chair, not in the order necessarily, but we'll try to cover. There's an important question that Honorable Mhlala raised around the Breede and the issue of the rationale around the impact of combining. One want to say that the minister would have approved an extension of the area in Breede-Gouritz to really cover the entire Western Cape, and that's the rationale. And the area of operation and of Berg Olifants, hence it will be called Breede Olifants. That's one. But it is also in line with the Presidential Committee on reforms of state entities to rationalize this number of entities. Initially, we were going to have 9, and we have reduced them to 6 CMA. This ensures that the issues of economics of scale and ensure that we manage accordingly to hydrological boundaries, following flow of rivers, and it made sense on issues of the costing effective to have 1 CMA in the Western Cape so that we can be able to maximize on what we're having. Now, the strategy of CMAs is working as it operates at local level. And the matter of pollution and the rivers are protected through the participation of the local groups. And the department really focuses on that policy insofar as development is concerned. And then with regarding to matters of transformation, the minister issues a directive for 90 days, calling all these irrigation boards to submit a proposal for transformation. And this will ensure that previously disadvantaged and also to participate in water use, how they don't have access to land, and this will also not have to make sure that they access to water use. So there has been that call already, so that there is that transparency and allow participation, so that there's further advising, if not recommendation, insofar as the persons that are involved. The 200 monitoring sites, Chair, by the Inkomati indicates the importance really of CMAs at local levels, as they can also test the water quality within the area of their operation. So that's one. The question on Honorable Hendricks around, I think, water research Commission can report on it. They can speak on it, the issues of utilizing tablets. There's many forms of how solutions, if not, are coming out. Many people have got ideas how you can purify water and so forth, beside the chemical use that has been used. But I'll allow Water Research Commission, if they've done the research around it, for them to be able to respond to that, including what you tamed and you asked them if they will be interested in other areas. And I would want to think that, I mean, it's quite important as an entity that serves South Africans, if an honorable member has something that they would have heard or seen or experienced and they would want to share with them and say, here, this, can you look into it? I don't think it's something that can really be strained from their side, but I'm sure they would want to take on the challenge, or rather to look into it if they do have the information. Honorable Mashego, very important, the issue of Breede-Gouritz, the 89% that you also would have raised around, yes, the target revenue collection, what's that method, so that they can be able to share that really, Breede, what is it that they're doing? So there's lots of entities that can learn from that. But with that question as well, you would have heard I think Honorable Sihlwai, when she was saying that, yes, you've exceeded your targets, and she says you are underscoring perhaps. So can you look into reviewing the same targets? So I think it's a catch-22 situation. You have targets, you perform now, you have exceeded now, perhaps you must review them so that maybe you are underscoring yourself. I think the point for me, I take it because it says to us, perhaps we need to look into, you can even expand even more so that you don't underscore. I think that's what Honorable Sihlwai was really saying, but we do comment the fact that at least we have an entity that can really exceed that target. We hardly hear those things nowadays in government in most of the time. The question on the issue of Inkomati qualitative data, I think I will give it back to Inkomati to really speak to that. What Honorable Mhlala asked about the status of work, the debtors, whether the debtors would have decreased, and any legal process against any customers that you have ensued from your side. If you can come in, so I'll open up for you to be able to respond to that. The question, Honorable Mhlala, it was not clear that when you were saying the Water Research Commission, any findings for the first international water non-sewer hosted by Water Research, I'll allow them to speak to it if I'm not clear about, so I'll allow them to speak to that. So maybe allow me, Chairperson, through yourselves, for me to hand over. I think most of the comments from Ma'am Nancy, I think I've noted most of the issues that are quite important, the participation of HDIs and the issue of monitoring of HDIs. For me, we take that, but to issues of service delivery, that we should be in a position to really show that when you exceed bid your targets, but the service delivery speaks to that, I think is quite important. So let me, through yourself, Chairperson, just to take them in order and just allow how they presented that the Research Commission to come in. Of course, we've got the board chair and the CE, if they can just come in quickly. There is a number of questions necessarily, so they don't take a longer time. So WRC, if you can come in after yourself, we can have IUCMA, then BOCMA, then we'll have the DDG Lusenga to also come in after yourselves. If we can take that in that order, Chair, through yourself.
Agreed, but those people remove that SA6 number and remove the Galaxy A03 because they've got no names. The others are removed. Remove the two that are still in the platform. Remove them up until they properly identify themselves. Yes, we can continue.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and I'd like to also appreciate the inputs from the DM Chabalala for addressing some of the questions related to the Water Research Commission. Chair, I must say that we really are encouraged by the comments that we received from members, and they are most welcome, especially around our clean audits. As indicated, the plan is to maintain that level of performance and to ensure that the governance structures and the oversight are done to the best of our ability. Maybe just to also expound on the issue of the conference first. Honorable Mhlala, indeed, the WRC is partnering with the International Water Association, IWA, as a host for the inaugural non-sewer conference. It's the first of its kind, and we are privileged to be hosting it. I must say, member, that we are on the second day of that conference, and we are taking this call from the conference with the CE and the CFO and the board secretary. Great insights that are emerging already, Honorable Mhlala. The first, one of the key ones is that sanitation has to be at the center of our political agenda. And I hope that as a department, we will take that to heart, the message that we're getting from the international community. It is important in the light of the current climate change challenges such as floods that we are facing, which will exacerbate our ability to manage the infrastructure that is connected to sanitation. Another point that is coming across very strongly is that we need to consider decentralized solutions to learn from sectors such as ICT and energy and how they deploy different service delivery models to delivering appropriate energy and ICT solutions. Those insights need to be applied to our sanitation sector. But we would be more than delighted to share the outcomes with the department, the minister, the deputy ministers, as well as the portfolio committee. And again, let me just congratulate the team for putting their hand up and making sure that they organize a very successful conference. There are more than 400 delegates from more than 20 countries that are gathered at that conference. So that addresses that question from Honorable Mashala. The inputs that we got from Honorable Hendricks, they are welcome. I will allow the CE to expand on the work that we are doing in developing guidelines for municipalities for testing water. She can give examples of the work that we have done. She will touch on the water tablets and then the norms and standards work that we have embarked on as the commission. And I think member Sihrai indicated, did ask questions around non-revenue water. Chairperson, who did ask us to increase our expenditure on R&D, and it's something that we are considering. But with that, let me just give my colleagues an opportunity to also chip in and respond to the questions that I didn't touch on, or at least expand for members' benefits. Over to you, CE.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thanks members as well for DM for responding to some of the questions. So, Chair, I think over and above, from a policy perspective, I think around the conference, it's also just to highlight to members the importance of building awareness to the portfolio committee around non-sewer sanitation, which is really an area of research and development that the Water Research Commission is actually leading in globally together with India. So this is part of the work that was started by Bill Gates around how do we reduce water for conveyance of domestic waste. So, and also what has been highlighted, I think also by the DG yesterday, was to recognize the fact that in order for us to be able to attract procurement and use of these innovations and technologies at local government, it is critical that there is really policy reform around procurement, which then talks to how National Treasury treats procurement, where you have your three competitive prices, whereas when you're looking at innovation, you wouldn't have that ideally. And then thirdly, around that, it's around the requirement for an economic stimulus, which would be it should be a government, and because we've got global attendance here, it should be all governments focusing on economic stimulus on the sanitation economy, because really this has shifted and changed plumbing and engineering as we know it. We are looking at manufacturing opportunities, installation, operation and maintenance opportunities, similar to how you'd visualize what happened to the DSTV kind of market, where you have got a whole economy around that. So I think those are the key areas that have come out of this. Chair, you are correct in saying that we have developed guidelines together with municipalities on how these water tankers can be tested, drinking water in the water tanks. However, remember, these are procured by municipalities, so the onus is on the municipalities, but we need to also assure members that SANS 241 as a drinking water standard, it's actually globally acclaimed Some of our even variables are even more stringent than the World Health Organization requirements. So we are correcting that, and the norms and standards are being revised by the Department of Water and Sanitation, supported by the Water Research Commission for adoption. I think, Chair, there was a question also in terms of the SANS 3500, that is the new sanitation standard that has been adopted by the South African Bureau of Standards, and that's also taking sanitation norms and standards and minimum requirement to a new high. We really also appreciating any insight that can come out of the Ghana, London discussion, and would be looking forward to looking into that. Definitely the water research parliamentary briefs have made an influence in policies of government. In particular, I think it's to mention, Chair, the initiatives where the SALGA has partnered with the Water Research Commission around innovation and technology, and we now know that within the Division of Revenue Act, innovation and technology has also been included. So it's now around the procurement processes that will actually enable that to be effected. Chair, the other thing is that with the Water Research Commission, the work that we've done, we have contributed, Chair, in order to support the department and the minister on the new water service provision model. We've looked at all of the challenges and how the utility model works, and we've made proposal around having competent, autonomous utilities that should be able to fast-track water service provision in order to be able to for redress and addressing all of the challenges. I think, Chair, the last one was from the chairperson raising the 48%, and we have set ourselves the targets going forward of trying to increase our cost of RDI, research, development and innovation, to 55%. So I think, Chair, from our side and the team also, we would like to thank the efforts of the team, the WRC officials, and would like to thank the members for the comments, questions, and the commendations that have come through. Thank you very much, Chair. Over to you.
Any entity? Okay. If none, it means the questions have been answered.
Yes,
Is that how
yeah. Maybe just to touch on just 2 points on the issue of the transboundary that Honorable Mhlala would have asked. I think we want to say that obviously would appreciate that the department is responsible for the transboundary issues, and the CMAs participates in that operational arrangements. I don't know why you're flighting a slide. Who's doing that? And they work, and they also work with Eswatini and Mozambique to measure the flow of water from South Africa to Mozambique. I'm not too sure, Chair, because you did open up and no one was saying anything. The next thing they're flighting something. Those were the 2 things, Chair, from our side. I think has responded. We spoke about the Inkomati issues. We spoke about I don't know who wants to say something, but from our side, Chair, it's back to yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. DM, my apologies. I was struggling with the icon of the hand. Yes, DDG Lusenga, let me flight myself. Yeah, thank you so much for the questions. DM has answered a lot of them, all of them, and the colleagues. The one that was remaining was related to the publication of the norms and standards, the revision of the norms and standards. That is the only one that is outstanding. And then what is important to note is that, yes, indeed, the drinking water standards were published in 2001. And then in 2027, there was a draft that was published. However, because it needed to go through several processes and consultations, that has happened. And also what was outstanding at that time was the sanitation framework, the sanitation part that was missing. So to date, that has been revised. And also the draft has gone through the DPME. for the social environmental impact assessment, so that at least it could stand the test. And my colleagues have just reported to me that they are ready to. They will be ready to publish. The DG must just sign off after all that process. That is our submission. Thank you, TM, and thank you, honorable members and the CEs and board chairs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the DM and the team. We appreciate the good work you have done. Thank you very much. We want to get into the second item. You are the release the DM and the team if you want to leave the meeting. Because this is now the second item, it's a portfolio committee matter.
Chair.
Thank you.
Chairperson.
Yes. You want to say something before I've already released the department.
Please, Chair, there's a question that I think it's important that's not responded to. The irregular.
Are they still in the meeting? Let us check that.
Yeah, no, Chair, we're still here. We're still here with the DTG. Okay. We are here.
The issue of the irregular expenditure, which is condoned. One is interested to know what did the entity do before the condonment in terms of
Nancy, Nancy, that statement they said, let me explain. They said it is labeled a fruitless expenditure by virtue of them having done it internally when they were supposed to do it externally. Yes, it is condoned, but it is the work they did correctly so, but it was done by a wrong entity. It was supposed to have been done by the internal auditors of themselves rather than in the office of the CEO. So it is just
a terminology.
There was no, yeah, that's what they said. And unless I misrepresent you, CEO.
No, Chair, you said it 100% according to our understanding also.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
you so much. Thank you. Truly appreciate it. Thank you, CEs and board chairs. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a full company. I was back at the meeting. Wait. Let's see. I have a remove again if I'm a full company.
All right, Chairperson.
Okay. Musala, this is your item. Item 6.
Chairperson?
Oh. Yes.
No, I'm here, Chair.
We are waiting for you.
Oh, it's me who must lead this item. No, Chairperson. We are having questions with regards to the message that was sent by the secretary, I think, to the committee, Mrs. Nosipo Wavuma, on scheduled proposed study tour to China from the 3rd to the 11th of November 2023. Chairperson, I would like to raise my concerns as follows. Chair, my concern is, does the committee have legislation to finalize during this time, which takes priority the legislation or either the study tour? So my question is with regards to that is based to the memo that was received from the House Chairperson, and reminder to all chairperson on availability of cancellation and demands made on committee staff before and during the oversight. Chairperson, the other thing,
I found this on the web for cancellation and demands made on committee staff before and during the oversight. Check it out.
My computer is giving me problems here. I don't know what's the Siri. Will the same application be resubmitted? I'm talking about the application to China. If so, to me, it seems like the application is misleading, as that application was twofold. There was an attendance at the Congress and meetings with the counterparts in China. There is currently, as we are speaking, Chairperson, no Congress, there's no Congress, and we are not sure that the respective stakeholders will be available. If we can get answers with respect to that, Chairperson. The other thing, Chairperson, I want to ask is with regards to the program of the 4th quarter term as adopted on the meeting on the 10th October 2023. Are we going to change that, Chairperson? If you can also get answers in respect to that, Chair. Chairperson, lastly, in prioritizing China's study trip, when we have issues or challenges in Northern Cape and Free State, where we're supposed to go and do oversight, why we don't prioritize those two provinces where we have challenges, huge challenges in that regards? Thank you, Chairperson. If we can get answers based on that, then we'll be satisfied. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mushala. The first question is that are we still gonna be giving the present the very same request with the very same content? No. You remember, even if could we have gone to China in the days that were supposed to have been gone, could it not have been cancelled? The Congress part of the trip was denied. So yes, when we made an application, we wanted to do an application that takes us into the 2 days Congress of water, in International Water Congress in China. And the department of the Office of the Chair of Chairs did not pass that application, or that twofold of it, because of the cost implications thereof. You will remember, our first application was that we needed to go, all of us as a committee, to China to go and learn, to attend that conference. But then first they refused the number and said, no, we're too many. We must at least have a maximum of 5 members and 1 staff member. I wrote back and said, no, I don't believe the issue of the 1 staff member and 5 takes precedence. There are members of the portfolio committee who have never went anywhere, even in Africa or abroad, just to go and learn for the previous 5 years. So it is unfortunate that we want to leave them out again. but the answer was still that no, you are allowed to go to take the trip, but the trip will have the maximum of 5 and a maximum of 1 staff member. So if you ask the question whether we were still going to go to a congress, no, we're not going to go to a congress even if we went. Now, that notice that the chair was giving, it was not necessarily addressing us, it was addressing a general phenomenon which was happening. Colleagues were just applying, changing the date, amending the numbers from 5 to 6 and so forth. So it was addressing the general phenomenon, not necessarily responding to our trip. With us, we were asked to postpone our trip because it coincided with the appointment of the public protector and the consequence item that goes with it, that we needed to be in the meeting, all of us, as you know. So therefore, we were then told that no, you can resubmit your application at a given time. Not necessarily that resubmitting only going to China, but if you still want to go to international trip, for as long as it will serve the purpose of you visiting. So your question is, are we still going to be having exchange with the counterparts in China in that trip? Yes, we will. So hence we have submitted the application. Now, whether the dates coincide with the visit to Northern Cape and Northwest, I'm not sure of those particular dates specifically, but if it does, I mean, many times have you moved a day from one point to another to safeguard the other programs that comes into the fore. And I hear you saying that as and when you do whatever you do, please consider that we still owe and I'm sure you're consistent with this point. I'm sure it must be respected, that consistency of us visiting Northern Cape to go and see the programs in Northern Cape. So if you say, are we doing away with it? No, we don't. And if those days are within that particular time frame, it means we need to replan visiting that particular area if we are. So indeed, we believe that all portfolio, all PCs were allowed to go overseas during this term, final term of office. We are not going to be, we don't want to be an exception to that rule. Is there a need? Yes, there is. Is the need only for 5? No, for everybody else, but unfortunately, only 5 will be allowed. So that's the answers to your questions, Honorable Michelle. So the application will still continue to be. It has not been passed by the chairperson. Remember, we're still going to resubmit, and I was still testing the availability of members, but it is not given that all of you were available at that time are still going to be available now. Now those that might not be available, it means we might change them. If all of us are still available, we will be available as we originally was. So I will officially submit the application to the chair of chairs on Thursday.
No, thanks, Chair. I'm covered. And then what about the NW RIA, the legislation? Are we not going to compromise that side of it? Because I think we are now. We are now.
No, we shouldn't.
And I think, I think it will be better if this legislation get finalized before.
I also take the point that whatever we do, it is our program of going.
let me finish so that you can respond to everything.
Oh,
and the
okay,
other
sorry,
thing
sorry.
was the fourth quarter term, the fourth quarter program program. Are we changing it now?
Because not changing it, amending it to accommodate the trip, yes. If it is going to be allowed, we'll have to amend the dates to suit that particular program, if it's going to be allowed.
And the legislation, can you please respond on that? Because the chair
It is our program. I was saying it is our program. We can't miss it. We need to work with a view that that process continue. If indeed there will be no space, if we take that trip, then that trip will be cancelled, because that process must not undermine the core work of the program. Thus far, we don't foresee it hindering the new year, and I don't think it will. Sorry. Okay. Thank you very much. I think that we are done with that. We'll await the response of the chair of chairs. If he allow it, we go. If it doesn't, we will appreciate the effort we will have made and still live with it. Thank you very much for the meeting, and I think we had a very fruitful one. The meeting's then adjourned.
Long live. Long live.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.